Hey everyone, my name is KJ and I am the host slash CEO of Great Talking Entertainment official channel. And today's video is a non-spoiler review for season 1 of DC Animation's new series only on Max, Creatures Commando. This is a non-spoiler review. So the series is all out. All 7 episodes are all available now on Max. You can watch it. Season 1's over. So this is for the people who heard of this, thought about it, were going to watch it, but not really sure. And maybe for the people who have seen this, me review all these, and the spoiler reviews are all available now. Check it out on the YouTube channel, by the way. And maybe you've seen it, maybe you've seen my clips, but if you still haven't seen it, I would like to be the guy to convince you to go watch all 7 episodes of season 1, Creatures Commando. So, again, this is a non-spoiler review. Sit back, relax, and let's just dive in and talk about it. So, here I go. Now, if you're a fan of Deadpool, Hellboy, The Boys, Kick-Ass, Guardian of the Galaxy, any shows like that, maybe you're a fan of Punisher. Maybe you're just a fan of The Watchmen. Whatever it is, this is your show. If you're a fan of any of those or something like that, this show's up your alley. This is a show I believe you're gonna love and I believe you're gonna like. And let me tell you why. So, Creatures Commandos, the whole season is just about is another version of the Suicide Squad. Now, you're asking yourself, well, you may or may not seen the Suicide Squad. For people who have, you're like, well, then I'll just watch a Suicide Squad movie or show if Creatures Commandos like that. But hold on, this thing is a little bit different, and they have their own unique twist to this group versus the last two live actions Suicide Squad movies. And it's a lot different from the anime version series of the Suicide Squad, which is available on Max now. Check that out too. But this is a little bit different. This has its own unique twist to it, but it has that Suicide Squad feel. But the plot is a little bit different. Same type of idea of it, but let me explain why. So, this is a group of creatures. So, these are all somewhat monsters, or in the DC universe, they call them meta humans. So, you got a bride, you got the weasel, you got a guy who was once a human that turned into a ball of flame where you see just the skeleton bones. You see Frankenstein, you know, simp fall over heels over the bride who rejects him, does not want to be with that guy. You'll see some real good, passionate backstories where this show, individual episodes, will make you learn about each character on this show, where you'll catch yourself rooting for them, feeling bad for them, because a lot of these characters have that dark origin story. Yes, a lot of these creatures, or characters, I should say, are somewhat considered the DC comic villains for maybe Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Robin, maybe Green Arrow, The Flash, all of that. So these are villains, but these are villains who are going to become good, or quote unquote the anti-hero. Still willing to do the deed, but still be a hero about it. And that's an anti-villain. And this has a lot of raunchy comedy, a lot of fights, a lot of bloodshed. But what I like about this, that I believe you guys will like about this show, if you haven't watched it, that I think you're going to love the plot of this whole story. I think you're going to like how you can learn to become a fan to these characters, and definitely want to know and see more of these characters in future DCU comic uh, projects, because this is produced by James Gunn. This is pretty much the kickoff of the DCU universe that is rebranded by James Gunn. And this show is connected to the new Superman movie that's coming out this year. And I believe that comes out in June. Not sure, but don't quote me on that, please. But I think if you're going to watch that movie, the Superman movie, and you're really excited from based off that trailer, I would highly recommend watch Creatures Commando. It would help you understand. And what you're gonna like about this is this shows you that the DCU universe is well established. They acknowledge that, your favorite DC characters exist, pretty much well established. And so they're kind of showing you like you'll see some origin stories, but not all of them. But they're not going to do every DC character is going to have an origin story film or show. And that's what I like about this show. It made it very clear just the way they went with this. Now, another thing I think you would like about Creatures Commando, I apologize, is I think that you're gonna enjoy seeing Amanda Waller. I think they really gotten better with her true personality, like more a little bit more comic book accurate to it. And you'll see some familiar faces from the past DC films, from Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, etc., etc. And you'll see some familiar other DC villains that you may remember growing up watching the old Batman 90s show, the Superman 90s cartoon shows. You'll see some familiar faces. And also, you'll see a lot of, again, violence. If you're a fan of that, this is your show. And as far as the animation goes, I think everybody who voice act each character did very well. It felt very natural, and they did bring these characters to life. And what I mean by that is if you're somebody who has watched Marvel's What If, you can see sometimes the actors who play the Marvel characters, their voice acting is not really great versus a professional voice actor. But with this, some of these characters who are portrayed by, whatever famous actor now, they're actually some of them are just uh different voice actors are playing that same character. So there is a confusion. Like the actor who plays Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movies, the two, it's not him voicing, it's a different actor. But it's still the same character in the same universe, if that makes sense for anybody. So you'll see a lot of that in it. But I'm glad they did that because again, it's more important when the animation show is really good done and edited well. And the number one thing is having a professional voice actor really bring that character to life, and every one of them has done it. And there's some famous actors on this show who voice a lot of these characters that did very well too because they probably have done voice acting movies or shows in the past before, so they knocked it out. So that's really done. Now the way it's been drawn, all the characters are drawn, the background, the graphics, the animation graphics, I should say, is really up to what today's animation graphics is on a streaming service, or what like the latest anime graphics are. Is this not anime by any means, but just the kind of idea of it. It was a lot of bright colors, but it did have a dark tone when it needed to make sense. And as far as the length of each episode, it's pretty basic, pretty standard, basic length of an episode. Not too long, not too short, just right, But I believe that you can binge watch all 7 episodes in one day and not, use half of your whole day out of 24 hours. So it's definitely worth the watch. And also, thing is, if you're somebody who is a huge fan of it but you haven't watched it yet, I can tell you this that There's a lot of cameos and Easter eggs and references that's gonna really get you excited, especially when it comes to the next, DC live action films like Superman and whatever's after that. I was almost gonna say the next Batman film, but we don't know if it's Robert Patterson or a different Batman who a different actor to play Batman. We don't know, but whatever that may be, this show will get you excited for that type of project and any other like Lobo and Green Arrow, Aquaman, Flash, and etc. etc. So there's a lot of little things you can really dig deep into and find those little reference and Easter eggs, and definitely want to pay attention to the conversations and dialogues that these characters are having and who they're referencing about, and they acknowledge a lot of the cities and towns that are famous in the DC comic world, from Metropolis, Star City, Gotham, Bloodhaven as well. So, you know, there's a lot there, and I think you're gonna definitely enjoy those, especially if you're really like me, who's definitely into the superhero genre films and movies. So it's right there. Now, somebody's not who don't pay attention, don't follow it. It's no big deal, right? This show, I think you would like it just because it's new and refreshing, and you haven't seen these characters a lot in any past DC films. Not all of them, but some. But there's a good amount of characters you haven't seen, like the Bride. Yes, it's the Bride of Frankenstein, if you're familiar with Frankenstein's story, but this is the DC comic version of it, and it's a little bit different, and it's a huge twist that I think you would like because again, there's it's very refreshing and new, and I think you guys will be hooked on it and enjoy this series. So now the things I didn't like about this show that I think you won't like, but it's not a big deal to me. But I always feel like there were certain characters I wish they had more time. I wish they focus a little bit more on, and I wish there was more episodes, at least 3 more episodes, and I truly believe that people who watch this would truly understand the whole plot and the idea of Creatures Commando. That's what I think. But these are not like a big deal to me. These are just small complaints that I won't really think about at all. But if I would have done 3 more episodes, and there's just certain characters again that I think they should have focused a little bit more on, because these are characters that people, especially the fans, the hardcore fans, want to see in future live action films, whether it's a Superman, a Batman, a Wonder Woman, a Flash, an Aquaman, or whatever. These are characters that they don't normally use in live action, but it'd be nice to see one in. So there's that. Another thing you might not like about this is sometimes some of these episodes have a very slow pace, and there's never a a a good flow of just fast pace. But I will. It's not a big deal to me because for me, it's the backstory that's been told, and sometimes you got to slow the pace down to really tell the backstory, the origin story of each character. So that's my only complaint. But as I review this, I think I cannot wait for a season two. They did leave it open where there could be a season two, but I haven't heard any announcements if they are. But if they had, let me know in the comments below, please. But other than that, I think this is a show that I think you will truly like, and it deserves more praises than it's getting now, honestly. But if I had to give it a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give it an 8. It's a really decent series, and it's really good. I think this one is more enjoyable than the past projects. So I'm definitely giving it an 8 for real on that. And it's really good. So I hope you check that out, and I hope I could convince you. I think this could be a all around fan favorite series, and I think a lot of people who have not seen this will truly enjoy this. But that's my non-spoiler review, y'all. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace